Afternoon, gentlemen. I am Gilbert Lopez of the Spring Fire Department. Today I will be instructing y'all on advanced forcible entry, going over our lesson plan. The topic is advanced forcible entry, defeating the outward swinging commercial door. This is the perfect exercise for an engine crew with at least 4 to 5 years of experience and 4 members on each crew. Today's objectives, we're going to go over the 3-step process of sizing up an outward swinging door, commercial door, to identify construction, locks, and safety features. We're going to explain the difference, we're going to explain the mechanical advantage and the proper tool placement of the Halligan using the adze and fork for defeating this type of door. And then we'll go out and demonstrate the gap set force method on an outward swinging door prop as part of a 2-person team. And then once we successfully force the door, we're going to demonstrate how to control the door as it is forced open to maintain integrity and protect the entry team. I've presented a slideshow to kind of give us an overview of some of the materials and information that may be foreign to you if you do not have any experience with outward swinging doors or know the difference between an outward and inward swinging door. So here, as the title says, what is the direction of the swinging door? Does the direction of the swinging door matter? And it does. For an outward swinging door, we can only open the door outwardly. For an inward swinging door, it can only open from inside. So it just serves as a reminder for when we try to force a door, all of our actions have to be towards getting the door to swing out towards us. We cannot force a door, an outward swinging door in. Some of the things to look for on a commercial outward swinging door are metal jams. Here I have a picture of a frame and a metal jam. This is all going to be constructed of steel, and you will see when we demonstrate why it is important to know the difference between wood and steel. Steel will present a little bit more of a complex issue than wood, because wood is more forgiving. And then the different types of locks that may be present on a commercial outward swinging door. Here we have your lever knob lock, and then here we have your lever but also a deadbolt. And then with some commercial doors we have the panic bar with the drop bar as well, as it provides extra security. With the panic bar, you have to push and push. You have to push the bar down and push force outward to the door to get it open to the exterior. And then with the panic bar, presents another set of issues that we have to overcome on trying to lift the actual bar out of its place to allow the door to open outwardly. Some of the tools that we're going to be using today are going to be the Halligan tool and a flathead axe. Who here has experience with the two? Who can tell me what the adze and the forks would most likely be used for? What mechanical advantage?
15-1. Your adze in?
Not the answer I'm quite looking for,
Give you
but
leverage on it?
thank you. Leverage. So prying, correct? So mechanical advantage, it's a force multiplier. We're using it to our advantage to multiply whatever forces we're capable of putting out and multiplying it with a little bit more reach, or in this case prying. The longer the bar, the more force we're able to multiply and exert. Next slide is going to demonstrate the gap set force method. So in order for us to get our adze or our forks in, first we got to create space to get them in, correct? So if you see in the first picture, using the 2-man method, one gentleman is actually setting up his adze into the gap. See how he cannot force it in anymore, while his partner's behind him with a sledgehammer or a pig, some kind of striking tool that can actually assist in getting that adze and making a gap to where he can set his tool. Now, once set, in the second picture, as you can see how deep the adze is now, we can move on to the next part of forcing. We want to make sure our ads is set, because the last thing we want to do is scrape the door and potentially pull the ads out and, you know, lose control of ourselves while trying to, you know, exert a lot of force and lose our balance and potentially injure ourselves or our partner. So we want to make sure that's set as deep as possible, so that way when we go to force, it grabs the door and can actually open it up. The PPE we're going to be utilizing today is going to consist of structural helmet, coat, bunker pants, boots, and gloves, as well as safety eyewear. Here I have a live demonstration of forcing an outward swinging commercial door. 1 second to open this up, so that way y'all can have a good idea of the skill we're going to perform. Let's open the link to pop right up. And then it's approximately 2 minutes, and then basically goes over what we're going to do outside once we go to actually perform the skill.
Start with our enforcement and door size up. So you get your building instruction, your door and door frame instruction, the direction of swing, then identifying the location of the locks, the location, type, quantity, quality, what's our weakest link. So again, we're going to try before we cry, we're going to shot, back the door by striking high, striking middle, striking low, and then we're going to go into gap set force. So with using the adds of the Allegan, we're going to insert it into the between the door and door frame, and we're going to camp up and down to try to create a gap. That gap is going to be used so that we can then insert our board or claw into that gap and wrap the door by using a second round here with strike into it. We're going to wrap the fork around the door so you can force the door out. Once our tool is set to the depth that we need, then we're going to either push or pull and force the door out. Come on, do it again.
Alright, so that was a brief overview of what we're about to go out and try to accomplish. Does anybody have any questions, any of the terminologies or different instructions that were said in that video that may be confusing, or we can clear up now before we get into the next portion of our lesson?
Ready to go.
Okay, so who can tell me how can we identify an outward swinging door? What is one thing that we can easily, quick visual that we can see that's going to let us know the door is an outward swinging door?
Have your hinges on that side.
Exactly. So we're going to have exposed hinges. That's always indicative of an outward swinging door. When we're sizing up the door, what are we looking for?
So it kind of locks around the door, make sure there's not a drop bar on it.
Correct. We're trying to identify the construction, locks, and security features. Any questions on the gap set force method? Everybody pretty much understands? All right. We're going to go ahead and take this outside to our forcible entry prop and practice the skills there. Thank you very much. Stop on me. How to stop. Oh.